Gundam model kits, Gunpla, whatever you want to call them. I've been painting these for about a few years now, since 2018, when my own subscribers got me back into the hobby. And the further I got down the rabbit hole of Gunpla and third-party kits, the realization became clear that sometimes highly detailed kits needed the white sections to be different from one another. Just enough that they pop, but not so jarring that it becomes distracting and throws off the entire look of the model kit. It's a complete balancing act that is so easy to fall off the edge, much like pre-shading. If you go too heavy, it looks terrible. But if you're just right, it accentuates what you're doing. That is the whole point of this paint line. These are colors I have used time and time again, and I trust and believe in. If you like some of my Gundam model kit work, and you've always wondered what whites was he using, these are a large portion of them. I couldn't do them all because I'm paying for this out of pocket. That's the key thing. These aren't cheap paints by any means. I refuse to work with a company or brand that was just selling some sort of slop. That's not who I am, and that's not what I represent. Some people may hate me, but there's one thing you can't deny about me. I am not a man that's a half measure, and these paints are not meant to be that. I understand some people don't like pre-thin paints. I get you, but other people have issues getting the thin ratio correct. These paints are to help you highlight your model kits. Can you paint an entire Gundam with these? Yes. But if you're just looking for something to just give you that right thin shade of off-white that you can completely and utterly control without going too far over the edge, this is it for you. I worked with Splash Paints because they were a reputable company in the model building sector, and it was very important to me that these paints were something that I could stand behind and people could say, hey, he's not being cheap, because I don't want you to have a cheap experience. I want you to be able to use these and get a good result out of them, and that's key. Good looks and good results. That's all I care about. Will I make my money back? It's not looking good, but at least I could say I put out something that I'm proud of, that I can look you in the eye and go, yeah, you can use these, because that's what it's all about. Also, mainly this paint line is born from the fact that I got tired of mixing my own paints again. So now I could just literally pull out my pre-made bottle and just spray. And I usually pre-make my paints in advance anyway. And this is born out of, once again, necessity. I have very little time, and I want these paints to be something you can pick up and go with, because I'm pretty sure most people that are building model kits at this level and putting in this much time and effort are probably people that are incredibly busy. And you want to maximize your time and your experience, because Lord knows the older you get, the less fun and time you get to have to yourself. Am I right? And that's what this paint line is about. The mascot is, of course, Fluffy, because you've seen multiple videos of where I'm working on these kits. Fluffy is there, and I thought, who better to be the face of this paint line? If this paint line continues, it will only feature colors that I use prominently. If you like how my kits look, then you can get a look similar to what I'm doing, or on the mark if you know what you're doing. I wanted this project to be something born out of a love for the hobby, not to be a brand. I wanted you to know I cared, even if you hate me. Did I forget to mention that Splash is also in America, so if the paint line does well, people will always have access to it. I doubt we'll have another situation like COVID where getting Gaia Notes paints was like pulling teeth, but having an alternative that's based in our country, I feel is very important for the hobby. Right now, I believe it's only being sold in sets. And time, I'm sure we'll be able to afford to sell individual bottles, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I don't know what the future holds. I'm pretty much like you. I'm along for the ride to see where it goes. Each set will come with a Fluffy limited edition sticker. Once again, if it does well, maybe there'll be more stickers. Well, that should do it for me. This isn't much of a selling point, but as the guy who gave me my first airbrush said, do great things.